Hi and welcome back. Many of the people I talk to, whenever they want to charge their batteries in a peaceful moment, find themselves unable to be peaceful inside. So they may have changed from their busy cubicle at the office onto a meadow in a peaceful forest, but still there's this inner chatter that goes on and on and on. Let's look at what is happening here and what we can do to change it, to be able to find true inner peace. Our brains are actually never really completely inactive. Research shows that when we rest, our brain actually even becomes more active, with many systems in action at once. This is called the default mode of the brain, or the autopilot. So the brain is constantly working on something. Oh, I have to remember to buy bell pepper. Oh, actually I wonder what Mark was thinking when he made that face in the meeting today. I really hope that I can get this project done in time. With so many people sick at home, time is really getting short. I think Annika really misunderstood what I was trying to say yesterday. I wonder if I should talk to her again about it. Without practicing how to experience true inner peace, our brains will never do anything else but remain in this default mode network or autopilot. Let's take a look inside our brain and see what's going on there. So the different kinds of chatter that we experience in the autopilot mode or default network mode have been grouped into 4 different categories. These are like 4 different types of people that try to push themselves onto the main stage of our mind's eye. And the first one we have is the commentator. He is a very opinionated guy. He has an opinion about everything and is constantly commenting on anything and everything that is going on. The commentator might say things like, I can't believe this is really happening, but with both eyes open, I see that it is. Why is not anyone asking me about my opinion on this? If they would ask me, I could tell them how we can fix this, but with the current strategy, we will never get there. So there's a constant comment on what's going on. And unfortunately, the comment that the commentator gives is often negatively biased. So he usually focuses on what is going wrong or what should be improved, and then leaves us feeling dissatisfied or frustrated. That is not to say that he can't learn to change his focus and learn to give different comments, which is a worthwhile endeavor. The next person pushing for a slot on the main stage of our awareness is the time traveler. Whenever this lady gets a chance to be on stage, she brings a time traveling machine along and takes us on rides into the past or future. She wonders what would have happened if things would have been different in the past. She regrets mistakes and disadvantages that we have to live with now because of those mistakes. She plays out how things might have gone differently if we would have done something different or if things would have just happened differently. When looking into the future, she worries about what will happen and tries to come up with emergency plans or a plan B, C, D, and F. She's totally unaware of what is actually going on right now, right here, and missing out on experiencing life. Then we have the Others Analyst who wants a slot on stage. This guy is always busy analyzing others. I wonder what Anne is doing now. I really haven't seen her since school. Let me Google her. And then 1 hour later, we wake up and realize that actually we had wanted to spend that time completely differently. This person is observing others, forming opinions about them, trying to figure out what they're doing and what that says about them. He compares us with others and usually chooses people to compare us to that are so much far ahead on the road that we are traveling that the comparison is just discouraging and frustrating. He wonders what others are thinking about us and often focuses on things that make us different from others. In the end, he's often the one that causes us to feel misunderstood and lonely. And then we have the self-reviewer. she's busy thinking about our sense of identity, the roles we fulfill, the parts we play, who we are, our name and fame, who we'd like to be. She's always checking what our actions say about us, who our decisions make us to be, what we like, what we don't like. She may even hold on to a certain sense of self so tightly that she completely misses out on a natural change and even development that has happened in us. And with all this focus on who we are and our identity, our name and fame, she also completely misses out on life that is going on right now in the present. So all in all, these four are responsible for us not being able to feel inner peace, even though we might be in a peaceful environment and trying to rest and regenerate. And studies show that people who have depression or strong anxieties have a harder time coming out of this default mode than other people. Luckily, there is another way of experiencing life, another mode that we can train our mind to be in, and that is the mode of the mindful experiencer. The mindful experiencer has open senses and is present and aware of what is going on. The mindful experiencer takes note of what's going on inside and outside. In this mode, we actually see, hear, taste, smell, feel the things that are going on right now. It makes our life richer, makes us more aware, and increases calmness and inner clarity. We notice quicker when we have the impulse to act out of a fear or prejudice and can stop that from happening. We stop watching endless shows of these performers that are never really there in what's going on in life and arrive in life right now, right here. Question of the video: in which situations do you find it easier to be in this mode of the mindful experiencer? Let me know in the comment sections. We can all be in this mode. It just takes practice. And the more you practice, the easier it is, and the longer your brain will be in that mode automatically. Studies show that with practice, the structure of our brain actually changes to make the networks that facilitate mindful experiencing stronger. So networks that have to do with attention control and feeling bodily sensations, or also the perception of the senses, become stronger, and networks that deal with this default mode, with these four performers that stress us so, become weaker. If you would like to start practicing mindfulness meditation, you can start by practicing in those situations in which you're trying to relax and calm down, when you're actually in a calm environment. Look at the color of the sky. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. What does the wind smell like? How has the season affected the change in plants? What does the earth feel like beneath your feet? These might be small and short moments, but the more you practice, the better you'll get. And if you'd like to intensify your practice, look for trainings or courses in mindfulness meditation in your area. Also, I'll put some recommendations for books and an app in the description box below. And subscribe to this channel because I will definitely be talking about this topic again. Have a great day and try to experience more of it than you would usually when you're on autopilot.